Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Stock Market Morning Prep video for Thursday, September 18th. Well, we did get another green across the board yesterday due to Janet Yellen speaking about QE and what the Fed's role is going to be in the coming weeks and months. Markets like that. Prior to that, though, we really didn't have much movement in the marketplace. We did after her Q&E. Markets actually was pretty wild as usual. It's kind of normal to have markets run up and down like that, and that's why most traders, professional guys, really don't trade the Fed. I don't personally myself, because you really can't get a read on price action. So this morning we're coming in, and the futures are up about 7.5 handles for further good news coming out of the ECB as well. So their central bank is doing what it has to do. Continually printing dollars, and it's very interesting to see that the markets really just step aside really what's going on under the hood here in the in equities and commodities and all different asset classes across the board. So I would suspect that either the markets are going to really realize, okay, you know what, we're at these lofty levels, and maybe it's time to take a step back a little bit. Other than that, if we break through these areas, which I'm going to show you, then we can have another big push up. And remember, this trading is only based on what the Fed is doing. The market should not be at these levels. However, market participants and fund managers, in order to beat the S&P, right? But you might as well join them, and they just keep pushing this market higher and higher. And at one point, it's going to end bad, but we don't know when it's going to end. It could be years from now. So as traders, it doesn't make any sense to put that kind of pressure on you looking to short the market. You short the market when it's time to short the market. And right now, that's not the case. Although we, at one point, in the middle of August, we were looking at a possible reversal, and let's see when we get up to these levels. Well, the market price action just blew right through those levels, and now we're at new highs again. So a couple of interesting factors. IWM still continues to be weak at and near its 200-day moving average, where every other indice that we follow right now is trying to break out or making all-time highs again. We have the dollar, as you can see in front of you here, I believe straight up, almost vertical in 10 weeks, and now we're into this heavy resistance band. So we have to see what's happening. Now the dollar liked what Janet Yellen had to say and did, and so now we have to see, do we just literally continue to go parabolic here? At one point it's going to need a pullback, but that's what you want to continue to watch for, because like I mentioned with crude oil, now crude oil really hasn't gone down. And I could show you this. You could see here yesterday, when I mentioned yesterday here, I said I wouldn't get long it now, wait for a pullback, because we're at this downtrend line, and we are still in a downtrend channel, and this is definitely counter trend. So this morning we're here, as you can see, we're up 13 cents. We're actually much lower. So now let's see if we can get some momentum. If it can make this higher high from this area here, from this pivotal low, then I think you might have some. And if we can get back above this downtrend line, and kind of make a sideways to slightly up move, then I think that that you might have a sort of a trend change. But at the moment we don't, and it's still obviously in a downtrend, and it's still a lot of sellers in this commodity. So watch crude oil, and I also do like looking at some of these oil stocks and these oil plays. But again, yesterday wasn't the day. We had to have we had a nice move in Schlumberger the other day, but took it back yesterday. So you see, this is why it's really only day trades at the moment, because you could see clearly that it's not ready to move higher. And you could see we had to move lower here, and I mean, it's really gotten badly beat up, and we're at the 200-day now. So again, a lot of these stocks look like that. Let's take a look at some of the builders. Now, Lennar came out with their earnings yesterday. Fantastic, blew right out. And if you recall, like a month back, I had this sideways channel, and I said, let's see if we get a break above it, and it didn't. It failed miserably. Toll Brothers reported, and they reported good earnings, but their guidance wasn't so great, and that's right here. and then that kind of took all the builders down. So you could see my mark is still here, that we're still looking to break back above it. But you look at some of the others, let's take a KBH for instance. Excuse me. KBH, you could see this is still this still hasn't taken out this area here. And remember, it failed miserably up until yesterday when all the builders came up. So Pulte, PHM, also not a bad looking chart. This here is better than KBH because now it is above this area and still didn't get too crazy to the downside. And now we're kind of recovered from this miserable move that we had. So that's not that bad. So what you have to have is patience here. You have to pick the sectors that we're looking at. So the builder's looking good. Lumber prices actually started to curl back up again. Let's see if we can get a little momentum to the upside. That will definitely help the builders. Now let's take a look at some of the indexes here. Now we do have this from high to low. I made a little Fibonacci retracement, and a 1272 extension comes in at 212.88. Okay, so that's going to be your first upside target, your first extension here. Now if you look at the diamonds, same thing. We have 1272 extension coming up here at 173.53. Now taking out this double top. Okay, now one thing is gets a little tricky is price action the next day following. Many times, not all the time, but many times, markets usually reverse course of what it happened after the Fed announcement. So we had a move up. Let's see if we get that move lower. Right now, obviously, it's not looking like that. We're up 7 handles big on the ECB news coming out this morning. And then we have the IWM, which is obviously the weakest of the 5 indices that we follow, and now creating some sort of a bear flag underneath some heavy moving average resistance here. So we had this move low, we had this little flag, we broke out, and then we failed miserably. So this is something that is still concerning, and I would say that we're not firing on all cylinders of all the indices that we follow here. This is the weakest of the bunch. A lot of the indicators are still reading somewhat overboard, but now that the pause that we've had for 10 trading days or so did unwind a lot of that, and that is actually bullish if we still hang around these areas, because that's going to give more fuel now for the fire to move higher. Okay, and let me just show you 2 more transports based on that FedEx earnings announcement. Obviously gapped up higher at its resistance, already tagged the 1272 extension, now looking for the 1618. Can I tell you that this is absolutely crazy? Absolutely. Straight up, virtually little pullbacks, and when we do get one, it takes it back right away. So transports are on fire, and it's totally insane here that you get a little pullback like this and the market goes higher. And again, I understand about crude oil and how it works, but it's just no pullback in virtually anything in any asset class that you look at. You get 3 or 4 days down, and you get 10, 15 days straight up. So that's why I say don't look to short the market unless you have relative weakness, and even then, be really careful, because when stocks have gone parabolic, they look for other stocks that have not really ran, and they're going to start buying that just because, and that's not the way to trade. All right, lastly is the cues you can see here. Another red flag is obviously the momentum names, the Netflixes, the LinkedIn, the Tesla. Apple obviously doing well in the product launch, but GoPro, any of those high beta names that really kind of lead the market is not leading the market right now. So that's something that's of a concern. But we need to take it one step at a time. Let's see what happens in the next couple of days. Volatility is definitely picking up. So we should get some good movement here in the marketplace. Now that we're back from the summer doldrums, and now we're starting to head into the fall. Have a great day, everybody. We'll speak to you tomorrow. Take care.